All right, Splitty, how you doing, man?
Bro, I feel so good. This is so tough. I'm nervous. This is so much fun and shit, I'm just happy to be here. Let's
Why
get
are you
it.
nervous?
I've never been in a setting like this before, so I'm like a repetition guy. So like I need like a second or third time to like be firing on all cylinders, but
Are
it's
you a man of routine?
yes, yes. And also, but like also I like dropped out of college because I was uncomfortable with Zoom. So like just I'm very computer relationships are like new to me. So this is a vibe. I'm feeling connected with you through the screen right now.
Of course, but how old are you?
I'm 25, bro.
All
How
right,
old are you?
you should be good with technology.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm not, bro. I'm like so out the loop with this shit, but
You look a little buzzed right now.
don't tell anyone that. Don't tell
I
anyone
got you,
that.
man. So am I calling you Splitty or am I calling you Chris?
You could call me Chris, you could call me Splitty. We'll see who comes through. We'll see who
I,
comes through.
I,
The
I
two
would prefer Chris if that's okay.
Oh yeah, bro. Do your thing. Absolutely.
All right,
Call me.
so let me ask you a question, and don't just say good. I want like an honest answer,
Yeah,
Chris.
for sure.
How have you been?
Yo, it's been like a lot of ups and downs, like and just riding a wave and like that. And like one thing like that'll come through about me is that I'm very much like always riding a wave and up and downs, like very intense highs, very intense lows, and like just anyone I talk to, I'm always talking about that like consistency throughout and just like maintaining that through riding the ups and downs. But like given the past week of where I've been at, like this whole thing, we're just can I start with an anecdote?
You can start with whatever you want, man.
All right,
However
so
you
I
want.
don't know how much I don't want to take up too much time. So
Whatever you want.
here's how I've been this past week. I would say a little bit of a jolt started with like I linked my best man's and his name is Jasir. Everyone knows my best friend is Jasir. And we got into a conversation. I was actually like, yo, I'm just like hella stressed, like from work instability and this, that, and the third, like which I feel like I'm never always like asking for help. I'm always trying to like offer help and shit like that for anyone, not even just in this instance. But this was like one time that I was specifically like, yo, like I need a shoulder to lean on right now. And it was just all about talking through this experience that I was going through with like finally wanting to or not knowing how to take this next step forward with like this music experience. Um and riding a lot of the ups and downs of that, like throughout work, especially on a day to day, and like personal relationships on a day to day. But then he said like one thing, and it was just like, oh, he didn't even say this in a bad way. It was more of a constructive way, but he was just like, yo, like nobody cares anymore. Not in a bad way. I know that can sound harsh, but like it was just in a sense of trying to be motivational. And that's how I took it too. I realized like I brought it back. I circled back to the fact I was like, yo, just here. I realized, bro, I took that personally. You're dealing with Michael Jordan, like of course I would. And that was like really the push. And I mentioned it to him too that that was the push I needed to like get over that final hump, as well as an experience with Frozen and Let It Go that spoke to my soul. And then I had to let it go. Matt came back from Colombia. We fogo de child. And I was like, yo, I'm over this because I'm over this project that I've been working on for like what feels like my entire life. Sorry if this, am I going on for too long?
No, we're gonna go for at least an hour if you have the time.
Oh, shit, okay,
You have an
okay.
hour at
Okay, so
least?
we could do whatever you gotta do, bro. I'm here forever,
I would
bro.
like it to be at least an hour if that's okay.
Hell yeah, that's tough. I love that. So yeah, me and Matt Fogle, the child. I have just riding the highs and the lows has led me to like making a whole new wave of music. So what had me holding on to this project for so long was just fear that I would never be able to make another one too. And I wanted to always have it line up so that like if it was my only chance, I didn't want it to just throw it into the void. But then being able to like experiment, like make new music that like I fell in love with, like a newer sound and like a newer style and like newer messages that had to come through. It allowed me to like distance myself from this project that I'm stepping forward with now. But not even in the healthiest way, in a way that's like I don't even give a fuck about it anymore. Fuck it, I don't even want to do anything with it anymore. So now we're back in the same problem of it just being in this cycle of not open and not out there and like me holding on to this piece of myself, which was never gonna come. So it was that motivation from like, yo, nobody cares anymore. I was like, yeah, you think nobody cares anymore? Like, we gonna see right now. And Matt gave me that push, like that validating push that like, yeah, if it's time, and if it feels right, it feels right. Um, and I had to let it go. That was that.
So as far as your music goes, are you referring to an album or are you working on an album?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this was like a project that I had done like all my life, or had felt like I was working on all my life. And so yeah, to preface it with that, that's like been the whole catalyst for this like resurgence, and even like for Matt to get us connected and for it to be the right time to do that. I guess, you know, it was all centered around, walking through that door and finally, um, stepping into that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think one reason why
Thank you for listening, by the way.
yeah, yeah, of course, man. That's what I'm here for. And I think one reason why I am a good person to talk to is because I'm a musician myself. If you
Oh
could see
shit!
the
Wow.
Neumann,
Cool, cool, cool,
you
cool,
see the
cool.
Neumann?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I was assuming maybe like podcasting and stuff like that. That's tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I've been making music since I was 19. I have albums, I have songs too, Christian
How old
punk.
are you now?
What I'm 35.
Okay, got you.
I've been making music for a while, so I understand what it feels like to spend thousands and thousands of dollars and get nowhere. I know what that feels like. Is that kind of your situation that you spent a lot of money and got nowhere? Does that sound like your situation?
No, no, not necessarily at all. It was a matter of finally believing in myself enough to like size up. My issue with it was always not being afraid to put myself out there and struggling with my own confidence issues and struggling with like um cycles of suffering that like I had to like acknowledge and understand and like choose to move on from. So it was never a matter of like trying and failing. It was more a matter of like, shit, I'm gonna finally try and it's gonna happen right away. It went from that level of it went from not overnight, obviously. This took like years of like work to go from self-hatred and self-loathing and no confidence and to to feeling empowered to like share a very vulnerable side of myself. Like, yeah. Um, it
So it sounds like you've wanted to make music for years, and you wanted to share music for years, and you kind of just got the confidence to do it, and now you're finally starting to produce music. Does that sound right?
yeah, I had dabbled with it in high school. Like I was making music about Call of Duty when I was like 8 years old. So like it was like 10,000 hours put the time into it to like master this shit. Like I've been mastering it since I came out of the womb because it's how my brain operates. So like it's just a language by which my brain operates. So like I've had the time to like just master it over time. So like I was doing stuff like this since I was like, yeah, like 8, 9, 10. And then I really dabbled with it and put myself out there in high school. Like a bunch of music I'm not even proud of, but like it was 16, 17, 18-year-old me, like, you know, experimenting and like putting stuff out there. And but it was a cycle of misery, bro. Like such insecurity and such seeking that like external validation constantly. So like that always led me to have like a very negative relationship with my music. Um and Yeah, so it took years. I put it down for years. So like when I was dabbling in high school, like I like to tell little anecdotes about like how I had this song blow up in Australia. So I know I got it. I know I have potential because I made a song about my mustache and it did numbers in Australia. So I could always
Nice.
see that. And like I always had like a little feather in my cap. But I put it down for like maybe 2 or 3 years while I was just like isolated from the world and like just really in one thing, focused on making someone else the center of my world and time and energy operating on under those circumstances. But um no, yeah, so maybe that answers the question. Shit.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm hearing is that you struggled a lot with self-confidence and you've
Yeah,
always wanted external validation, like you
yeah.
said, and really good choice of words, by the way. And you sound very self-aware, very introspective, and it sounds like validation kind of helps you with your confidence and it makes you feel better about yourself.
Maybe in like a way, I definitely like a former, like this is probably like a mindset years in the past. Like maybe this is me operating, you know, up until like manhood. You know what I mean? Like for me, I was like a boy until I took responsibility for myself, and then that's when you become a man almost, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And taking that responsibility, taking that power back, I guess, or power back that I never had and had to parent and implant and teach to myself. Of course, with like um great role models to build off, but also great examples of like what not to do and what not to be. So um maybe if I got sidetracked again, I don't know if I'm good at
Well,
answering
no, well,
questions.
I did notice something. So you said you got your power back. Where was your power before?
That's a good question. No, I would definitely say you could definitely take back out of that. Like there was probably no level of empowerment or sense of direction like until this recent wave. Like I would say like I really like a light bulb maybe started to go on around like 23 for me, maybe so like 2 or 3 years ago.
Hmm.
But before that, like it was really very negative narratives and self-talk in my head. Um, so it almost like I describe it as like a different lifetime, bro. Like it was like a different version of myself that I don't resonate with anymore. And it wasn't like ever reactive in a impulsive way, but just out of control, suffering almost. Um,
Chris, where does your self-loathing come from?
oh that um I think I had an experience. I don't like to air out no type of dirty laundry and that stuff like that.
Uh,
Um, but like I had an eye-opening experience where I realized, so like I have a negative relationship with a parent, I would say. I've heard numerous different stories about I don't even know what the truth is about like the beginning stages of the relationship between my parents and like their relationship with me. But I've always felt like an instinctual rejection from this person. And so I think it stems from that, but also just like having that as an example, just the like having like the narcissist, like living and coping with like the narcissistic tendencies and stuff like that. Um, to the point I'm trying to make, um, that had shaped my worldview,
of
even
course.
to the point where I didn't realize it anymore. I was like, oh, I don't care about that person anymore. Like I don't, um, they don't affect me anymore. That's really where my head was at until I like had this experience, woke up one day and was just like, oh, all it has ever done is affect me because it's my entire worldview. It's the way I think other people see me. It's the way I operate under those fears and standards. So even when I realized like it was just my inner narrative was based on that. So um that was that little change for me and then unraveling from there is what like led to me being able to even sit in front of you here and not be afraid to speak to a stranger. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, one thing I
that's a
know
little
is
different.
that a lot of our confidence comes from our childhood. And you said
Mm.
that you had one parent that was kind of narcissistic and didn't really show you much love. What about the other parent? Was the other parent better?
Um, I would say this, like definitely better for sure, but like almost I don't want to say abusive isn't a good word, almost like unintentionally. And it's just like ways that like we've like spoken about openly now and are like able to reflect on. But I felt like there was one end of the spectrum where it was like or stories I hear or feelings that I feel like I said like instinctual shit. So like you read those books about like if a parent don't want you, you kind of like hold on to that shit forever if it's
Yeah.
not there like within those formative years, I guess, or even like formative weeks.
Yeah.
See, like I don't even know the timeline of this story because it's all fuzzy and I always hear different ones from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was dealing with from one side feelings of like neglect and not belonging, but then also a flip to like control. So like almost didn't want anything to do with me until I every aspect of my life had to like be controlled in some type of way. Um, I guess in a way that's hard to dive into or dissect like day on a day-to-day level, but just the overarching theme. So flip-flopping and never knowing what to expect between feelings of neglect and then feelings of like overbearing control. And then on the other side of that, with who I spent most of my time with and live with primarily because it was always like discomfort on the other side.
Hmm.
Um, Not that it was, or not that I ever hold it against this side, but I felt like there was a lot of emotional responsibility placed on me, like even just as a child, like as this plop down in the middle in between these two parties that dislike each other and being thrown back and forth between that. um, and just dealing with the emotional pressure and responsibility. So I find now how it affects me is like just being very, what's the word? I guess, I guess I don't know. I guess there's a hard way to describe it, but just that feeling of carrying emotional responsibility that maybe shouldn't belong to you and dealing with those like not manipulations, but I think you could pick up what I'm saying, maybe.
Yeah, so Chris,
Yeah, go ahead.
in the beginning of our conversation, you
Yeah.
said that you don't like asking for help. And now it kind of connects because, you also said that, you felt like you were kind of like in the middle of your parents and plopped down. And there's a word that comes to my mind that starts with a B. Do you know what that word is?
Put me on.
The word is burden.
Okay.
It sounds to me like you felt like a burden to your parents. Like, you know what a burden is.
Uh-huh. Of
You're
course.
just responsibility. You're just work to them. They don't really love you. You're just a weight that they have to carry around. Does that kind of sound correct? Like you felt like a burden?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that resonates. I wouldn't say that resonates. Um, I would say I carried the emotional responsibility of almost like having to uplift someone when maybe I wasn't ready to because I was like a toddler.
Mhm.
And on the other side, be dealing with either complete neglect or control.
Mhm.
And then um like have realizing recently like choosing that suffering over again by moving into a basement with all of it, the control, the emotional dependency, and the the I wouldn't say feelings of neglect, but the feeling of not knowing what to expect between the extremes. um and then like realizing that like, oh, I just like did this all over again because it's all I know and all I'm familiar with, and like stored feelings in the body that similar things trigger similar type of feelings, and yeah, so then realizing that and wanting to understand what life was like on the other side of that, and even just being scared of it because not knowing either, but like just wanting to take that chance on myself, and having taken those chances on myself and building that trust with overcoming. It's all a parlay.
What chances did you take?
For instance, like a big chance that what I felt like taking was even just a year ago, a big chance I felt like I was taking. I always felt like I very much lived inside this bubble. Um, Never even had a job that was like working with other people or for other people. I'll say like I have friends in elementary school like that, but like I was pushed kind of like to go to like this private school in this city, like an all boys school. But I was from like almost like Long Island, Queens, like Queens Village. So just a hell of a commute, like 12 years old, like taking this F train from fucking Jamaica 179th at 6 in the morning to 14th Street.
Wow.
Like, and then it was just a long ass day. And then like soccer practice after that. Like every day for like half the year was like 6 in the morning to like 10 p.m. I forget how I got there. Where was I going with that? What was the question initially?
The question was, what chances did you take?
Oh, okay, yeah. So always being in this bubble, then moving back to Long Island, which I really never wanted to do after feeling like I branched off into the city, even though I was pushed to. Um, Coming back to Long Island to go to school, that's where my mom was working at. So always being very sheltered and in that bubble and like having things facilitated for me or jobs, or even if I wasn't working with anyone, I was doing like DoorDash. So like very isolated and very scared. I
Lonely?
mean, what's up?
Lonely?
Not necessarily lonely, but like I mean, at this time I was also getting like harassed and shit and like living with like almost like a stalker vibe. There's like I don't even know where to start.
We
Um,
got time, man. We got time. You can talk about it all. We
oh
whatever
shit,
you
I
want to
want
talk
to
about, air it out now.
know.
We got time, man.
Um,
No rush.
nah, I appreciate you listening and holding space. This shit is crazy. I
Yeah,
never
there's no rush, man. Whatever you want to say it now. There's no
I'm
rush.
scared I'm saying too much.
I can always cut out whatever you want.
Okay, good. Um, but yeah, so like definitely not lonely because I wanted to be isolated because I was like getting harassed and that was all I knew. I grew up with it from like 15 to like 20. It just felt like that 5, 6, 7 year blur just feels like fight or flight, trying to dealing with the unpredictable and dealing with like, is this person gonna be like outside my house with their weapon in my bushes and shit like that? Like, here's a picture of your house. I'm here waiting. That shit was it was hard to ever do any self-exploration when you're like all the fucking time looking over your shoulder for everything. Um, so yeah, um, taking a chance on myself, like ending relationships, deciding leaving any bubble or connection or anything that was facilitated for me. Um, Going out on my own, doing this music shit finally, investing in myself, taking chances like that. Investing in myself in terms of what I do for work, like buying a fucking training certification, even though I don't know shit, and just like reading the book, passing a test, and then just like doing it and figuring it out as I go. And just day by day building those opportunities for self-trust is what has gotten me to the point where I'm able to let it go with holding on to something so vulnerable and like this. And I said like I was scared to talk to strangers. Like of course I was, bro. Like the only person, not only person I knew, but like my adolescence is just so hazy with just memories of like constant fight or flight, fight or fight, flight or fight, fight or fight, flight or fight, because of like the stalking and the harassment shit, whatever you want to call it. Like I'm scared to even talk about it now. I don't even want to fucking say shit. But and how that connects to feelings with the parents and with the fucking everything. But
So it sounds to me like you lived a life with where you constantly felt threatened. Did you feel threatened in your past?
definitely within those years that I was dealing with like the harassment situation.
Mhm.
That shit was miserable as fuck. That shit was miserable as fuck. But um I don't we don't even gotta talk about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to talk about it, but I'm sure that it affects you. Does it affect you today? How does
Oh
that affect
yeah,
you
like
today?
I definitely like it has taken like years of peeling back. Like, bro, I used to be scared to, and like I said, how it shapes your worldview. Like, I thought everyone was out to get me. Like, I thought everyone that like showed interest in me was interested because stalking and harassment reasons. So like, I was scared to fucking go buy Barry pet food, Barry my cat, go to fucking Petco and talk to the register, bro. Like, it shit was tough. Um. And then that, um, you know, in turn lead into the isolation because, I was already scared and insecure to put myself out there, but also now dealing with this shit that like, oh my God, everyone's out to get me and how it shapes my worldview with the rejection and the self-hate from like dealing with it as a kid and growing up in that. So like it all just shaped this worldview of like everyone's out to get me and they hate me and please stop being mean to me. That's the name of the fucking thing that I did. And that's been the name since I was 15 working on it was please stop being mean to me. Like very protective shell. But then the unraveling, the work was realizing I had to stop being mean to myself. I was talking to myself the whole time. I was comforting myself the whole time. The music and the messages that came through it all helped me understand who I was and who I was trying to become and who I was becoming. Um, And that so everything always in turn comes back to that. It's always what I wanted to do. And it's I you asked me how I was at the beginning. I'm doing fucking amazing, bro, because I'm finally doing what the fuck I want to do, bro. Feels great. I'm doing training. All right, hold on. I'll find this quick.
What are you showing?
I gotta show a text message. I gotta show a text message.
Oh,
Uh, my bestie, 905 Ryan, baby. August 15th, 2023. It says, and I'ma just do personal training to fund my music career. That's what it says, but you probably can't read that
yeah,
shit.
I can. I said.
That's a year and a half ago. Yo, you ever just see some shit through, bro? It feels hella good.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like you had a rough childhood. You were neglected, you were emotionally abused, you were
No, my mom
stalked.
was amazing. My mom is amazing. My mom is amazing.
Your mom is amazing, but
My
maybe not.
mom is amazing. She just had to learn how to deal with her emotions, but she's amazing.
And it sounds to me like you had what some people call shit life syndrome. You had a shit life, you had a rough childhood, then you were stalked. As an adult, you were stalked as an adult, right?
Yeah, like it was like ages 15, on and off from like ages like 15 to like maybe 20 or 21, whenever it stopped when she went to prison.
Hmm. Okay, I did figure it was a woman, to be honest.
Oh,
And then it sounds to me like then you basically said maybe 2, 3 years ago, maybe less, enough is enough. It's time to set goals. It's time to
yeah,
pursue. It's time to do what I've always wanted to do. It's time to take action. And
yeah,
you've been doing it. You've been taking
yeah.
action since then.
Mm-hmm.
And that
And
feels
like,
amazing, doesn't it?
uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, bro, you hit the nail on the fucking head, baby. You did. You did that. You did that. I feel connected to you right now.
And it sounds like your confidence shot up a lot since back in the
Build
day.
those opportunities. You got to build it within yourself by showing up every day and doing that shit. People wait for the confidence to come to go do the thing. Uh-uh. You gotta go do the fucking thing.
You got to build it. You got to build a
And
life
then
that
and then
creates
it
confidence.
comes, and then it comes, and then you're a beast.
Right.
You gotta
So
go do the thing though. You gotta go do the thing though.
And that this is a really important lesson because, like you said, a lot of people sit around and they wait for life to happen. They wait
Yeah.
for confidence to happen. They wait for good things to happen. But you know, you got to work. You put in the work to build the confidence and to get to where you are. You put in the work and you took the risks, didn't you?
Defining decade, baby. Read that fucking book. Defining decade why your 20s matter. Yeah, you ever hear that shit?
I've heard
Sorry.
of it. I haven't read it.
Meg J, PhD. I think that's her name. Meg J, PhD. Defining decade.
So, when your friend said the other day, when he said that no one cares, what was he referring to?
He was referring to like the music because we had been like putting out stuff and testing it out and like for 6 months trying to like build a little something. But then like my manager went on vacation, my videographer went on vacation. It was the holiday season. I was going through my ups and downs, how I do. Everyone goes, I got like this shit is like a side hustle too. We have to fund this. We all got lives to fund this too. So it's like we're juggling two businesses at the same time. Matt's juggling like 12 businesses at the same time. I don't know. You might have to cut that shit out.
Ask Elon Musk.
But but then when I heard, my boy say that like, hey, like, yo, you gotta see, I was doing it backwards the whole time because I thought I had to like build a following and then release the music so that like I knew for sure the music wouldn't, excuse me, just get lost in the void. But then I realized you have to take the chance on yourself and give it a chance to resonate. And I feel that shit in my soul. I feel it resonating, bro. Like it's crazy. I'm not the what this went out Wednesday morning because I just did it random. We were like, Matt, blah, 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 blah. We'll see when it comes out. We'll put it for tomorrow and just see when it shows up because it's not gonna go as soon as we say it if we're doing it at the 11th hour, you know?
Mhm.
So I was just gonna like let it be and let it happen as it would. And then Wednesday morning, when I saw it for what it was with the fucking picture and all set up and not in my notes app anymore and then stuck in Gmail, it was
Mhm.
what it was the whole time. I just was finally able to see it and share it. And not only has the like outpouring of love been like fucking amazing, but like in my chest, I I feel it resonate. And so like it's all feelings all from the same source and we all got access to the same feelings, bro. So that's and we're all feeling it.
I noticed your shirt says pleasing. What is that? Is that a brand, pleasing?
This is Harry Styles nail polish.
Oh, Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Because I remember you
Mellow
said
sugar. Sup?
I remember you said before that that you don't really like asking for your help, and you were always the helper. You were the helper, helper, helper. And then when you wear a shirt that says pleasing, I'm thinking, oh, it's
Yeah.
about pleasing. Like, so why do you think you've always been the helper as opposed to the person who asks for help? Why have you always been that helper?
I think it connects to like I don't like airing family shit. But like it's just what it is. And like we've had conversations about this shit too. But like I think it like and I always say my mom is amazing and has become even more amazing. Um but like learning she like single mom and like only child type deal, like on living on top of each other, living on top of each other in like a small apartment, you know, like I learned over time that like even growing up and into my like late adolescence and early 20s, like she had to learn how to better
Hope.
deal with her emotions instead of me being the one dealing with them or dealing with the responsibility of them. Not even that I was good at it, but when you're learning how to deal with someone else's emotions for 20 years and learning together, you know, um it I think it enabled me in great ways to like be attentive and like hold space and communicate and listen. It has also on the other side of the coin led me to getting taken advantage of and not holding space for myself and putting everyone else before me and maybe caring what other people think or catering to other people's needs and wants as opposed to even understanding what I want, taking space from all of that to understand what I want and not having to know what I want right now, but giving myself the space and grace to, you know, learn it over time and not need to know right now and be okay with not knowing everything right now
So
and just trust
there's
that.
another B word that comes to my mind, which is boundaries.
Yes, 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 yes.
So it sounds to me like when you were younger, you weren't really setting boundaries, and it's very normal because as kids,
Mhm.
we're not taught to say no as kids. We're taught to listen, 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 listen. We're not taught to say no as kids.
And having boundaries invaded by a stalker, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's by many people, I think. It sounds like maybe some of your parents sometimes or your friends. It sounds to me because remember, boundaries aren't just physical, they're also emotional and verbal. So it
Yeah.
sounds to me like for your whole life you didn't really set boundaries and you feel taken advantage of. And now, as of recently, you finally started to set boundaries and
Yeah, and not even that I'm good at it yet, but I'm just noticing it and just trying to learn. And that's like I said with repetition, bro. Like practice setting boundaries. It's not gonna be perfect every time. I'm still gonna get my boundaries or privacy invaded, but it's forgiving myself for letting it happen and understanding that shit. All I know is having my fucking boundaries invaded, bro. So giving myself grace when it does happen is like the most important thing instead of getting caught in the cycle of like, oh fuck, like I let my boundaries get invaded again and now I'm gonna go self-hate and then just chase the tail. Like that's what it is. And that's a big part of the piece too, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, a big part of setting boundaries is having the confidence to do so. A
Uh,
lot of people who lack
cook,
confidence, they're afraid to set boundaries, and the
cook.
people who are more confident tend to be better at setting them. And but it sounds to me like you've come a long way. And you to me when I hear you speak, you sound very, very self-aware, very introspective, like you know yourself very, very well.
I had to like it's a bro, it's both sides of the coin. Like cause I had to survive and
Yeah.
understand everything.
Yep.
All I had to like I think and like I don't think I because I don't like to talk about it, but like the 2015 to 2020 like stalking character arc and the harassment character arc every fucking day, like a new phone number every day. I don't give it enough. I don't like because I don't like to talk about it. I just like to pretend like it's not there. But that shit made me aware of everything because I have to be aware of everything I'm feeling. And like I said, it connects to the emotional responsibility thing too. Like even as a kid, I'm learning how to not, how to like let my emotional boundaries, be invaded and how to not put my emotions onto others, given such intense reactions to them, even to like unserious shit. I mean, that's all subjective too, but you know, how emotionally, you know, how bad could a how bad of a trigger could a 13-year-old make an adult woman feel? You know what I mean? That you're not grounded enough, but it's nobody's fault. We all have to learn and understand. And this is just me realizing this shit now, talking about it out loud that I didn't even think about. But just
Yeah.
episodes playing in my head that have been playing in my head that I haven't realized have been playing in my head.
Well, that's great because that's what I'm here for, to help
That's what
people.
this is. That's what
That's
this
what this
is.
is, to help people, figure out what's deep down in their subconscious. And
Yeah.
another thing is, and this might piss some people off, but when a man is being stalked by a woman, a lot of people just laugh about it. It's not taken seriously. It's brushed off. Oh, even the cops in the fucking precinct. Oh, what? It's a woman. Like, why are you so scared? Type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that must feel terrible to be
That's
in
what
the.
it was. And going to my friends for that shit, just stop answering. I'm like, bruh, it's a new phone number every day. Like, and I'm mind you, I grew up with it. That's all I know from age 15 to 20. So like I'm learning how normal this is, thinking that that's all to life there is, and thinking that that's all anyone is ever gonna, however, that is only how I'm ever gonna be treated. And I deserve it because of course I deserve it, is what I'm telling myself.
Yeah, well, sometimes we tell ourselves that we deserve.
Not anymore, but in the
Right,
past.
right, right. But a lot of kids do this, and some adults, but a lot of kids, they tell themselves that they deserve to suffer in order to make the suffering less. Because when we deserve the suffering, it's not as annoying as
Yeah.
when we don't deserve the suffering. So it's a
Mhm.
coping mechanism. It helps
It's
us.
yep,
Like,
learned,
like a
learned
lot
to.
of, for example, a lot of kids when they're abused by their parents, they tell themselves, "I deserve this," to make, because now it's so much less annoying and less traumatizing if we deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You're 100% right. I agree. That should resonate too. It's
Yeah.
like you learn how to cope by like it hurts less if you convince yourself you deserve it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Uh,
it's very
you definitely read The Body Keeps Score, right?
I what?
You've definitely read The Body Keeps Score, right?
The body keeps score?
Yeah.
No, no.
Oh shit, bro. I'm like reading that shit right now. You gotta read that shit, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
Who's it by?
Jeff Van.
And what's it about? Tell me what it's about.
It's about. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll read you the synopsis. Um,
Because
I'm
I'm
like,
not a huge reader. I'm not gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
perfect, bro. You perfect, bro. The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma, by Bessel van der Kolk, MD. He's Swiss, I think.
Hmm.
Blah 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 blah. What's this? What's the overview? Come on, give me an overview. I need to know. All right, I can't find the overview, but it's about how trauma is stored in the body and how you deal with it. There's like some intense stories too to like highlight it, but also like the how the therapy works on it and shit like that. But you gotta. I'll be better at describing it when I'm sober.
It's all good, man. No, but like, either way, like it sounds to me like even if you're not 100% healed, it sounds to me like you really, really healed and got over, for the most part, what you went through, and you're a lot more confident now. So what would you say to someone? What would you say to, let's say, your 15-year-old self? If you were to talk to your 15-year-old self today, what would you tell him?
That's a great question because I've been thinking about my cousin, right? who's like in a like and who's like around that age group and like ever since like yo, you got it. Like there's so much on the other fucking side of this shit, and it's all making you exactly who you're supposed to be to do exactly what you're meant to do. And it's tough too because I know no 15, 16, 17, 18-year old. I wasn't I would have never been open to hearing that or open to accepting that. So it's hard. It's hard as a kid to realize how much there is on the other side and how big and like vast the fucking world is. Um, so that's what I would try to like get through to myself and show them like, yo, shit's making you a beast. Shit's making you a monster. And you already are that. You just don't realize it because look at you doing it.
Well, I'm also willing to bet that the 15-year-old self wasn't getting much encouragement from other people.
I don't even want to say that either because there have been such positive people in my life too, friends. Like I said, like my mom is amazing, bro. Like she always tried to empower me. It also had to be about me being open to receiving it and open to hearing it. I've had people telling me that I'm this. Since then, I just didn't believe it.
Interesting. Why
I've been
didn't you
having
believe it?
what's up?
Why didn't you believe it?
I think it's because I just always saw myself and I thought the world saw me how like my dad saw me and shit like that. I know in the beginning I was like, I don't want to name, I'm just gonna, person name, person, be like, fuck it, like, whatever. Um, I've always seen myself how negative, not even how negative he sees me, but how negative he sees the world. Like his language is just. For instance, let's just here's an anecdote, right? Wedding. Like, I don't even see my family like this anymore, but we go to a wedding like maybe 3, 4 weeks ago. Haven't seen him in like a year at this point. Walk into the foyer. We got like a big Italian family and shit like that. It's like maybe 80 people in this fucking foyer. I don't know. I see him from across the room. Like, of course it's awkward because it always is. But like, I make my way over because like, I want to like shoulders back, chest out, look you in the eye shit. And like, I haven't spoken to you in a year, and I see how much I've grown in a year. I don't know anyone. I can't. If I don't fucking if we don't talk for like a week, I almost feel like, do I know you? Because like we changed, bro. So a year, I'm very open-minded to being like, who is this guy gonna be now? Who am I about to meet right now?
Interesting.
I shake his hand, he looks me in the eyes, he just goes, "You will never be me," and I'm just like.
That's the first thing he says.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If not the first thing, like, hey, hello, how are you? You will never be me. I'm just like, what the fuck? But when it smacks you in the face like that because you've been removed from it, so dude, all I can do is laugh now. And I think back, I'm like, this is the this is the big scary narrative I was living my life under. This unhinged man, this weirdo that you you will never be me. Like, you're mad dramatic. What the fuck is that? You're a weirdo. We live in our lives based on weirdos. Like, if your parents are fucking weirdo, let them out the box, see them for who they are. You're a fucking weirdo. I'm gonna go live my life on my own terms.
He sounds like a monster to me.
I don't know. Yeah, he is. I don't fucking know. I don't know who or what he is.
I mean, there are many words that I would use just from that one experience alone. You know what projecting is when you project your insecurities onto other people. So
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
would.
because he knows he can never be me. It's fine. It's
Well,
absolutely.
I already know, even though I never met him, I don't even know what he looks like, but I know that he's a very insecure man
I agree.
who projects his insecurities onto other people, even his damn
Absolutely.
children, and who's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. But you
Hmm.
know, I mean, the one thing I'll tell you is there is no man who loves himself and acts like that.
Exactly. I
There
know.
is no man like no if to act like that, he must have self-esteem issues. He
Yeah,
must have a
absolutely.
lot of self-loathing, and misery loves company. So why
Mhm.
wouldn't I make my son feel like shit? Because hey, misery loves company, you know?
And it got nothing to do with me, bro. It got nothing to do with me.
It's all how he feels about himself.
Yeah. And it's not my responsibility either.
Yeah.
If I hold myself to a standard to be this aware right now at this point in time, why can't you be this aware at this point in time? I gotta babysit an adult and wait for you to catch up? Nah, bro. Go suffer. I don't give a fuck. I don't feel away. I feel good. I
Do you
feel
feel
great.
resentment?
What's up?
Do you feel resentment?
Yeah, I'm petty as fuck. I love that shit. Look at what I made myself in spite of it all.
I mean, I would definitely say that your resentment is valid, you know? I mean, this man mistreated you. He's a narcissist. He projected his insecurities onto you. And to me, your resentment is 100% valid to me. 100%.
It's not even something like it's not something that is almost a weight that drags me down or like something that I carry heavy, you know what I mean? It's just like almost fun petty, like where you laugh at it. Like I'm at that stage with it at this point. And it feels good to be at that stage with it. I don't
Right.
know.
Because
Like
now you're a grown man. Now you're aware. You're aware of, the fact that, like you said, the way he acts has nothing to do with you. No matter how successful, if you were a multimillionaire, he might act even worse. He might
yeah, I
even
know.
say worse shit because now he's jealous. Now he'd be jealous. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, I really like the phrase when you said it has nothing to do with me. You're right. It has everything to do with how he feels about himself, and maybe his father mistreated him when he was a child.
Can I ask you something about something you said?
Of course.
Earlier, like maybe like 10-ish minutes ago, you might have said something about um you're not 100% healed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think anyone ever is 100% healed?
Honestly, no. Because the thing is, as soon as we're healed from one thing, the next thing happens. I don't view myself as 100% healed. I don't think so, man. I mean, I think that a lot of people have this mentality of I can't wait until I'm 100% healed. And the thing is, when you keep having that mentality, I don't know. I mean, different people have different answers, but I feel like, we can't fully heal from a lot of stuff from our childhood. And like I said, as soon as we healed from one thing, the next thing happens, because even as an adult, I'm 35, things are still happening. Things are still, so I don't feel like we can be 100% healed.
Hmm. I always, yeah, and that's I like I and that's what I think it is. I think it's just understanding that and just persisting regardless, bro, and just doing this shit regardless. You're never
So,
gonna be 100% healed. You're
yeah.
never gonna be 100% confident. You're never gonna experience no doubt.
Well, you also don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing I've been thinking about this a lot lately, basically about how life will always be up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
No matter how rich you get, no matter who you marry, no matter how healthy your kids are, you could be a multimillionaire. You will suffer at some points. Your life will dip and go up and dip and go up, regardless of everything else. It will.
What you gotta do and what you gotta do.
You got to persist. You got to push through it.
I try not to attach either side.
Mhm.
I try not to practice attaching to either side either.
So what
Which
is something that makes you happy? I know your music.
oh my cat Barry, the motherfucking Green Bay Packers, the bros, my clients at work,
What do
my
you do for a living?
I'm a personal trainer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice.
It's a fucking vibe, bro. It's amazing. It's amazing. You
Yeah,
just
that's a really difficult job to get.
is it really?
I
I don't
mean,
even
you tell me. Is it? You tell me.
I took the certification, I went to the interview, and I got the job. I was like, yo, I don't know how to cue a squat, but I'm down to learn. And they were like, you're in. I was like, oh, okay, Equinox, let's get it.
Well, you had to take classes, right?
I did a certification, like the American Council of Exercise, just some basic
Uh,
shit, bro. Anybody could do it, bro. Pay $700. It's an investment in yourself. You just it's not even about learning, bro. I didn't learn shit from it. It's about it
that's-
they just pay the money to show you're serious and then sh read the fucking book every day to pass the quiz and then be rewarded the opportunity to go learn for real.
You don't have to pass any physical course?
What do you mean by physical
Like,
course?
did you have to pass anything physical, like push-ups or
Nah, nah.
because I always figured like you had to be in amazing shape to be a personal trainer, no?
You know what I realized about the my team that like brought me on and like the team that I'm a part of?
Uh-huh.
They are good at recognizing talent, and I wasn't in the best shape, but they knew that I had the mindset that if they gave me the knowledge that I was gonna go far with it.
Hmm.
And I was gonna, bro, people have been believing in me and investing in me all my life. And I am just the only one that took forever to catch up to it.
Interesting. It sounded like the world believed in you more than you did.
Absolutely. Maybe because one person didn't, but I hate and carrying that resentment because I wasn't able to see myself for so long for who I am and how everyone I love to see me from your point of view, as Ariana Grande would say. No, but we're doing it now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all want the same thing. We all want two parents who we have a good relationship with, we love and who loves us. We all want the same thing. Everybody wants a healthy mother and a healthy father. And when we don't get that, we feel a void. Don't we feel a void when we don't get that?
I don't know, maybe it's just like instinctual too. Like I ne I never wanted him or liked him either. So I always felt like it was my fault too. Like I remember I was maybe like 9 or 10 years old or some shit. And he came over to get me for Thanksgiving to pick me up from my mom's. I didn't want to go so bad. I was like faking jumping out the window, bro. Like, so I carry so much guilt too, but also I was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
So like I carry so much guilt for being like, I was a piece of work at 9 years old, you know?
Right, but how the hell is a 9-year-old supposed to know what to do and what not to do? Like I've heard this, I was just speaking to my ex-girlfriend actually, and I did an interview with her, and she was blaming the same age. She was 9 years old, and she was saying that, she wished that she had reported her abuser at same exact age, 9 years old, and I said the same thing, which is, how are you supposed to know what to do at 9 years old? You can't, you gotta let that go. I mean, if Elsa, if you're gonna listen to that song, think about your childhood self.
What
We
it's
can't
about.
hold our we can't hold our own we can't hold our 9-year-old self accountable
Mhm.
for anything. They're just
Yeah.
a part of their environment, you
Yeah.
know?
But now, even just having this conversation, bro, I realize it now. Like, I've been carrying so much guilt for also making him feel rejected by me because I never wanted him or wanted it, like, even as a kid.
And that's his fault.
And that's something I might have had to accept. And that's why when I hear the stories about, like, oh, as a baby, he didn't want you, and baby me internalizing that and it resulting in like never wanting anything to do with it, even as a kid, like never looking for it, never wanting it. So that's the only proof I have that maybe it was he didn't want me. But it's also so confusing, bro, because like I said, the reality I knew and know, or not to the, I don't know it anymore because I'm so far removed from it. But the reality I knew was control, 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 control. So like I am hearing stories of like neglect, but I'm like, neglect. It's so controlling. I almost wish it was neglect. Now I'm pushing you away. So now, like, this never fucking knowing, bro. Like, it
What
doesn't
do
matter.
you not know?
What?
What do you not know now?
It's so manipulative to, oh, go to your father. He's like this because he loves you. That's why. I'm like,
Hmm.
what? It's so confusing. He's a piece of shit because he loves me? What?
Yeah, well,
He's
I
mad
mean,
because he loves you. Like, what? Why? I don't know. Look at me. I'm being facetious a little bit too now, but whatever.
yeah, well, no, I mean, it sounds to me like you were maybe a little bit lied to. Maybe I know you love your mother, but it sounds to me like she maybe lied to you a little bit.
I don't know, maybe to protect me, probably. I'm super good at choosing getting gaslit and manipulated.
Now,
That's something I've had to come out of. That's something I grew out of. Even in like my most recent relationship that I had to like let go of. Like this the light bulb went on, I'd say maybe 2, 3 years ago, but this really all started coming into play like maybe last January, maybe a little bit before that. But like
would
really
you
stepping into it.
would you say that has anybody ever told you that you have trust issues, or would you say that?
Sure, yeah.
Because a
I
lot
don't
of people,
I don't want to claim it for myself. I can see why anyone would though.
because I don't know you on that level, but a lot of people, when they deal with narcissists and liars and abusables, a lot of them have trust issues later on in life.
Yeah.
So that's a fear that I have. If you have trust issues, if you view people as guilty when they're not guilty, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like for a while I was carrying like everyone was always mad at me. Everyone was always mean to me. Everyone hated me. And that's what you learn over time for your life. So having to notice it and like shine the light on it and let it go.
You can stick it if you want.
That is life. It's not about being 100% healed.
Right.
It's about it's about noticing where you're not and just going on regardless.
Hmm.
And over time, that's where it comes.
I really, really like that line. Life is not about being 100% healed. I love that. I love that line. I should use that because it's true, like I don't think it's healthy to have the mentality of, oh, I can't wait to be 100% healed because I don't know if that time will ever come. But it sounds to me like
Really is, bro.
and the word that comes to my head, another word is survivor. You're a survivor and you figured things out, you survived everything you went through and now you're a much stronger man. And not only that, but you're a man who is very, very aware of everything. You're aware of how you feel, of why you felt it, of how your father feels. To me, you sound like a very aware person.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you holding the space for me to like share this side of myself with you, bro. Like you're very you got an amazing talent, bro, for the way you connect and the way you listen and the way you share and hold space, bro. Shit's special. So like shit, I appreciate you even like you know, giving me the chance to learn some things about myself, even talking about it in a new way, with a new perspective, with a new person.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'm glad to help. That's what I'm here for. And but it sounds to me like, you've come such a long way that, you kind of already knew like how you felt and everything. Would like you sound very self-aware to me.
um I it's I want to like I do agree. I'm trying to see like maybe why or like um also I think what empowers me to tap into that more confident, self-aware side is that I preach it to my clients who I want to see thrive and do well. Like all of this shit that I live is just books I read and I took what resonated and put the tools into action over time practicing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I recommend the books and no one reads them, which is fine because
Mhm.
we don't like not everyone likes to read.
Right?
So I break it down into my dialect and live the life by example to show other people that if I can empower myself, if I can take a little bit of care of myself, if I can parent myself, if I could show up for myself, you could do the same shit, bro. You can harness the power of your emotions. You can focus and want to understand where they come from. And all of that shit takes work, bro. I don't know. I appreciate it as a gift now. I understand that it's a talent and a gift. And um, like I said, I thank my relationship with my mom growing up in that environment. So I never hold it against her like that I dealt with maybe feeling a burden of emotional responsibility on me because it enabled me to be who I am now and give me the superpowers I need to do what I want to do. Inspire people in the training world, inspire people in the music world. Like we're doing this shit and it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like you found what you love and now you're taking action and you feel much better. Chris, do you have any siblings?
I'm a single mom. I'm a single child on my mom's side, and I have a half brother and a half sister on my dad's side.
Are you cool with them? Are you good relationship with them?
I love them and I love them forever. I don't have a relationship really with anyone like on my dad's side, and it's a big beautiful fucking family, and I love every single fucking one of them. And I and it's just so hard. It's so hard to be there, and it's so hard to feel connected and secure. Um, but they're also, of course, like the people that know who they are that do grant me that space. You know, it's harder for me to connect with my brother and sister because they're very much living it and don't see it for what it is. And I don't want to put that on them. Because I don't, like I said, I'm not close with them. Don't talk to them. I don't know them and I don't know what they go through. So I can't even say fairly, but it's hard.
Well,
I
I'm also willing to bet that a lot of people know what your dad is like. A lot of people on his side know that,
Now, yeah, for sure.
and
Now,
I'm willing to
yeah,
bet that a lot of people don't like him.
yeah, nobody does. Nobody does. They all almost like walk on eggshells about it though. I don't know why. I guess maybe because of the tradition. Oh, it's family, so it is what it is. Like the fam you don't gotta tolerate your family, bro. If you don't fuck with them, like, what is that? You're a weirdo.
Well, that's another thing I noticed, because back in the day when I was a kid, everyone was family first, family first,
Yeah,
family first, family first. Now it's more, I don't have to speak to you. I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to
yeah.
spend time with you. And I think that's a beautiful thing to watch the world set boundaries and to watch the world walk away from people
We
that are
talk
very
about it, bro.
toxic, right?
Talk about it.
And yeah, I mean, I would never, ever, ever tell you, Chris, you need to spend time with your dad or you need to, make amends. I would never tell you that. What I would, if anything, I would just say to stay away from him.
That's the advice I got and from like everyone and my like therapist throughout life. And it's literally like I remember being 12 years old. My therapist was like had the list of things to say and kept it real. And like I stormed out the room because I didn't want to hear it because I didn't want to believe it. And I was reading about this shit in the Body Keeps Score too, where it's like that is like literally science reaction. That
Do you want to talk about what he said?
oh, just that he's like a narcissist piece of shit. Like all of the reasons why, the bullet points why he didn't want you, this and that. He wanted you to be an abortion every all the fucking time, blah 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 blah, blah, all of that shit. I
And
don't
it
know.
sounds like you didn't want to accept the fact that he was a narcissist.
Yeah, I was more like at the time like just didn't want to hear it. There were times where he was able to manipulate me and like turn me against like the therapist or turn me against my mom. Like there were times where I was that kid that was manipulated for sure.
So when you were a kid, how did you feel about him, let's say at 10 years old? How did you feel about your father at 10?
Probably scared and um it was always tension, just always discomfort, never be always walking on eggshells. That was
There was
always
but did you love him?
hmm. I don't think so. No,
Well,
I really
here's
don't
the
think
thing
so.
about kids or 10-year-old kids especially. Every single 10-year-old kid wants their parents to love them. Every single one, you know? Like, wouldn't you kind of agree with that statement?
Yeah, I just in this weird fucking way.
I mean, if I had to guess, what I would say is that you wanted him to love you, but at the same time, you were scared of him and you didn't like him, but you kind of wanted his validation. And,
Yeah,
every kid wants their parents to love them.
right,
Every
right for sure.
And then it's not until when we're an adult when we start going, no, I don't want to spend time with you, but as far as 10 goes, every 10-year-old kid wants their parents to love them.
Mm.
And I'm really proud of you for staying away from him and for setting boundaries because, that's exactly what you should be doing. The last thing, you should be doing is seeking his validation. I
Yeah,
would strongly not suggest that.
definitely not like that no more. Feel. I do this shit. I do this shit for me now, and it feels good to be my own favorite artist and be my own favorite trainer and be my own favorite parent, be my own favorite confidant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I take good care of myself now, and I had to learn how to do it.
I kind of ran out of questions, man. Is there anything else you want to say?
Nah, bro. I touched on it before, but I really, really appreciate your patience. I appreciate the space you hold, and I appreciate you, connecting me with Matt or Matt connecting us, and you being interested and wanting to take a chance on me and listen to me, and put a platform for me and share my story. And I like I said, like, bro, I'm usually not the I'm usually the helper. Like, my natural inclination is to go up with all these questions and ask all of these questions to you. So,
Mhm.
like, being on this other side of it and being able to, explore unconditional, like, it's just thank you for holding that space, bro. And I was super busy with work yesterday. I wanted to check it out. Um, but being so burnt out and shit, I didn't get around to it, and I was happy that I did it because I was like, you know what? I want to go in completely blind and just um meet you as opposed to coming in with an idea of who you are
Right.
to expect,
Yeah.
So now, like, I wanted it to just be like genuine, like strangers, no preconceived nothing, not even
Yeah.
1% of an idea. So
No, I appreciate that. And but I just want to say again, man, you've come a long way and I'm really, really, truly proud of you for that, man. It sounds to me like you've grown a lot, like you set boundaries now, like you built your confidence, and it sounds
hey,
like you've come a long way and I'm proud of you, bro.
thank you, bro. It's very nice to meet you. We gotta get connected, stay connected. I'm not Matthew Hernandez, bro. This is his. I'm Splitty is tired, bro, but you could call me fucking Chris. Please stop being mean to me.
Yes,
Listen,
doesn't deserve it.
can you please listen to it?
I got you, man. I'm gonna put your link below. I'll put your link below.
No, but I want you to hear. I want your opinion.
I will. I got you. I got you. Have
Okay,
a good
thank
one,
you.
boss. We'll have a part two.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you
Have a
so
good
much.
one, boss. Take
Thank you,
care, man.
bro. Thank you.